Welcome to the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast with Vicki Noethling. You are about to discover impactful lessons that help you grow as an individual, grow your confidence, and find the positive and good within you, so you powerfully and authentically become the best version of yourself. Be sure you visit our website at www.findyourleadershipconfidence.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now tune in, get ready, and enjoy the journey of emerging as a leader of exception in the 21st century.
Welcome, everyone, to the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast. I'm your host, Vicki Noethling, coming to you from Roswell, Georgia. The goal of this podcast is to bring topics and guests that will empower you to become that confident leader and take your business and your life to the next level. Today, I am very pleased to have Rozlyn Warren as my guest. Let me tell you a little bit about Rozlyn. Rozlyn is the founder of Sacred Life Mastery.art, and she guides conscious visionaries who know they're here to make a big impact, clarify and totally align with their vision so they can confidently share their truth and change lives with ease and grace. When she's not talking about possibilities, Roz loves to create art with fiber, paper, and paint. And you can see behind her handiwork, I believe. Please join me in talking with Rozlyn about creating profit and satisfaction without working harder. Please join me in welcoming Rozlyn Warren. Rozlyn, thank you for being my guest today.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, this is my art behind me. So
Nice.
I don't get to do as much of it as I would like, but
Yeah.
I do enjoy it.
Yes. I am married to an artist, and my daughter is an artist, and my mother was an artist. So I am a lover of all things creative. And I think that everything that we do in life has a touch of art if we just open ourselves to believe that.
Yes, absolutely.
So I always ask a simple question to begin with, an easy one to kick us off. And that's just to tell everyone, what part of the country do you call home?
I'm actually a born and bred Floridian.
Oh my God.
I
It's
know.
so nice to finally meet one of you.
We were actually very rare. And right now we are living off the Atlantic Ocean near Amelia Island. So we are right at the border of Georgia. So you and I are together there. And we really enjoy it. We've been here quite a while now.
Wow, that is a beautiful area too.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just kind of get into this. Whenever we talk about, creating profit, we always think it's hard and impossible. And there's your gurus and everyone tell you should have goals. So what is goal trauma, and how to tell if it's affecting your prosperity?
Absolutely. So backing up a tiny little step, because our theme today is the idea of profit and satisfaction. And if you've been listening to, you brought up the word gurus, but if you listen to a lot of the folks out there, those two are kind of like mutually not agreeable. You either have satisfaction or you make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And making a lot of money and still being having a life seems like it's not congruent. So that's kind of where it comes in. And then you add into the idea of without working harder.
Yeah.
Because, and that's goal trauma also fits into this piece as well. Because what we're doing with goal trauma is a phenomenon, and it's not a big, we say it's not a big T trauma, like you had a big accident or something. And so that's why it's so easy to just go, I should be over that. But it did create trauma. And I'll tell you what happens in your body when you have a trauma. But goal trauma specifically is when you had something that you wanted to accomplish. And you could have framed it as a goal, or you could have just, I'm having whatever it was. Now, this could have literally been when you were 4 or 6 or 12 or 21 or last year.
Mm-hmm.
And you just went after it with your whole heart. You knew you were going to do it. You could see it, you could taste it, you could feel it. It was done. And people might come and say, oh, that's just a pipe dream. And you would, oh, you don't know, I'm doing this. Or people said, you know, it'd be easier if you, oh, I'm not even listening to you. I know how I'm doing it. And so you just plowed forward, gave it your whole heart, and something happened and it didn't turn out.
Mm-hmm.
And it broke your heart. And you probably have had an incident come to mind just from me describing that.
Oh, yeah.
So take a deep breath and just breathe it out a moment. But what happens is when your heart is broken, your nervous system registers that. And then the next time you want to go bigger, broader, step outside your comfort zone, this inner protective system that's now been established says, no, we're not doing that again. I remember how bad it hurt. Now, this is all, of course, running underground. And so we're not having this mental, no, I'm not going to do that, because when I was in 6th grade, that's not the case. So now we're into all this stuff that we don't even understand, mysterious behaviors. But it's the idea of now you have a goal, you know where you're going, you know what your profit is for the end of the year. Well, 2024, because we're here now in December. And then you find yourself procrastinating, putting it off, talking yourself out of being able to do it, period. Wandering off to, oh, I don't know, Google Land or Netflix or all of these things. And then at the end of the day, you go, why? And then we do what we do, which adds insult to injury, is we go, there's something wrong with me. If I was only, and you fill in the blank with your particular one, I wouldn't do that. I would just get on with it. I'm smart. I've paid however much money and however many gurus you've hired and how many courses you've taken. I should be able to do this. But what we don't understand is that we have this underground, underlying in our physical body stopper. And it just won't let us go forward. And now we're in this whole thing, and year after year goes by. So that's what I am so tickled to work with people with, because as soon as it's hilarious, but as soon as you recognize it, and I've got a little process that helps us to calm down the nervous system so that we can actually go and unearth these pieces, people go, oh, well, if that's all it is, then forget it. And they're off and running. But it's that blind spot. We don't know what we don't know. Yeah.
It's funny, as you were saying all that, one of the things I teach is the overcoming the fear of speaking. And it's so aligned with what you're talking about. It's the same thing. It's, they don't often associate something that happened years and years and years and years ago with why they can't be successful in presenting or speaking, but they know there's something. It's like,
and you find that once you find that piece and unlock it, the doors just open like manna in heaven, right?
Mhm.
Oh, it's such exciting work.
Yeah, for sure. Um, how did you really start this business, come about that? I always like to ask people, what was your journey like to this point? Have you always kind of resonated in this space, or were you at a certain point and you knew you had to change and go in this direction?
It's kind of a twofold answer. I've always been a coach. Um, I'm actually what claircognizant, which means I just know stuff, which does not go over very well when you're 3 years old and you're telling your mother what she really ought to be doing.
Oh no.
So, then I got the whole thing. Well, who do you think you are? You're just too big for your britches, blah, blah, blah. The whole spiel, right?
Mhm.
And there was one real particular one from actually when I was about 2.5. And it really shut me down for years and years and years and years and years.
Wow.
And then again, as soon as I had gotten to a place and healed to the point where I could go, oh yeah, that thing, and I could see it, I got over it. And that was the end of that. But it was, oh gosh, 50 something years. So if you're dragging something around, you can get over it. But I had part of what I did through my life was I thought that I was here with the mission of controlling what happened in my life. And I had the perfect family. Well, to everyone around us, I had the perfect family. We had, all the things, all the things. And the children had grown. The last one had left home. And I remember sitting on the couch going, if this is all there is, I'm not really willing to stay anymore because this isn't fun. It's just not, it's not working. And that led me to, of course, that was the magic word, surrender.
Yeah.
And when you surrender and just go, I'm done, I'm just done, the heavens sing because now they can come help you.
Yeah.
It's as long as I have got my hands in there, and this is kind of the working harder piece. I'm going to make it work, and I have a story in the new book behind me, and it's when there is no more grit.
Yeah.
Grit cannot get you any further.
Mm-hmm.
And you just have to surrender. And then everything can open up. And you can begin to flow with the universe, understand how life actually works. I am actually not in charge.
Mm-hmm.
I am not in control. There is nothing that I have to control. I just have to align with, which is a full-time job, staying in my own lane, aligning with my mission and aligning with source so that I can hear my intuition.
Yeah.
And then when I hear intuition, because I'm quiet and I'm in the present moment, I can act on it. And now I'm taking these steps. And those steps lead me to where I'm going anyway. And then that adds up to, because when you are serving others and you are giving from your heart and you are living your mission, you are pretty much guaranteed to have money flow in. Somebody years and years ago said, and I grabbed it and I love it, we're here on a fully funded mission. Now, all we got to do is get on the mission because it's fully funded. I like to think of ourselves as kind of the reverse of the astronauts. When astronauts leave and they're out traversing space, they've got this whole team in Houston They are not alone. Even if they're out on doing their spacewalk and all that's connecting them is that really, I don't know that I'd have the guts to do it, but bless their hearts, they're all excited to do it. That's all that's tethering them in. But they have this massive support system. So we have it the opposite. We're here on planet Earth exploring and playing and taking the universe past where it's ever been, serving people, building, helping, all the things that we're doing. And we are tethered to this massive support system that is behind us. We are not alone. And that's one of the top 3 things, especially for women, is we have this thing about I'm all alone. I'm out here doing it on my own. I've got to control everything because I'm all on my own. And that is not true. That's the hard way. But it takes a minute to get reoriented to the fact that you're not alone and you have massive support. And there's something in here about, we're not saying you have massive support, yes, but it doesn't mean that you are constantly looking to people outside of yourself for what you should do. Because every person that's had success that's now selling a course or selling a book or telling you what to do and how to do it, that was their path. And there may be some pieces to how they did what they did that will work perfectly for you. But there are also pieces that you can go in and pick up their program they sold you, and you can do it to perfection. And the whole thing falls apart and never works because it's not for you. And it's like, how do you know the difference? It's, you don't want to do it. Now, this is different from procrastination.
Right.
But this is the idea that everybody says, oh my God, you have to do podcasts. Well, if you don't like talking to people and you don't like being on video, choose another marketing stream. Or you need to be on social media. You got to be on 45 different channels and you got to show up every day 5 or 6 times. And you're like, no way. No, but I'll just do it. Here we are. I'll grit my teeth and I'll do it. But you don't want to do it. It is not calling you to do it. Now you can do it all day long. Perfect. And it's not going to make any difference in your business because your heart, your energy is not behind it. So this is the easy way to have profit and satisfaction, is only doing what your heart says to do.
Yeah. So many people try to, and as parents, sometimes we're culprits for this, where we want our kids to make the most money or have the most success in our minds. And they forget, but what brings you joy? And what do you love doing? For me, thankfully, I was able to find things in my careers that I loved doing until I didn't. And then I moved on to something else that I love doing, now in my retirement, doing what I love. But one of the things that you talked about were the voices in your head and how they can get you off that path.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I have a whole thing about voices in your head. And at the end, we'll talk about it too. But I have a dance journaling is what it's called. It's a specific journaling process that my guides gave me, because that's where it needs to start. Because we have all these, it's just a running conversation in your head. And if you have never done any of this kind of work, I can guarantee you that 99.9% of any thought you have does not belong to you. we actually really, once you clear all that stuff out, you don't have that many thoughts. You have a knowing of, it's time to do so. Oh, it's time to get on a podcast. Yay. And then you do what needs to be done, but you're not ruminating and like burning these gears up all day long. And when we are in the middle of allowing, because there's several things about, okay, number one, they don't belong to you. And number two, any thought you have in your head really has nothing to do with you. It doesn't define you. You are not your thoughts. So it's this piece of begin just listening, which involves coming back into the present moment. See, we either live in the past, fussing about that, or we're way out in the future worrying about that. We're not living our lives. And the living of the life is where the satisfaction comes in. Being fully present to the present moment. So the beginning of all of that is just noticing. What am I thinking? And your feelings are really good for this. So let's go back to our original, goal trauma.
Yeah.
So you find yourself wandering off, eating a cookie and wondering why. Or you're procrastinating about something else. Just stop a moment and take a breath and go, what am I thinking? And then write that down, just sentence, write it down, and then look at it and wonder, okay, what am I making that mean? And then what assumptions are going on? What is my expectation? Well, I don't want to make that phone call that I know I should make. I don't want to make that phone call because, number one, I shouldn't have to do it anyway. Somebody else should take care of it. Number two, I'm assuming that they're not going to be able to help me anyway. So you see how we've made up this whole ginormous story about making a phone call. Now, when you live in the present moment, there's a phone call to make, and I go, it's not the right time to make that phone call. It's a different feeling from that, because actually what I'm having is a conversation with my guides, and I go, are we calling about this today? And they go, nope. I go, okay. And I move on to my next thing. Because what I have found is if I had gone, well, yeah, I have to make that today. I mean, those people did me wrong and I have got to take care of it. I'll call them up. And if I even get through to them and I have a conversation with someone, it will not be the answer and solution that I want because I'm pushing it. But if I will wait until I'll be sitting, going along with, and all of a sudden I'll think, ooh, I want to call so-and-so right now. So I stop what I'm doing, I pick up the phone and I call them. Now, if I'd have called yesterday, I'd have got the guy who was filling in, who doesn't know squat and didn't want to talk to me in the first place. Today, I get Susie. She is just back from vacation. She is full of vim and vigor and still loving her job today. And she goes out of her way to solve the problem. I have goosebumps. I had this literally happen the other day with a Medicare issue. Somebody had billed me. They're not my doctor. They're just scamming. And I got this lady who was just as mad about it as I was. And she made a report. And it was an uplifting conversation. And it made me laugh because I'm like, this is what I talk about all the time.
Yeah.
So it's the following the inspiration. There is, okay, if your house is full of smoke, you probably should leave the house. But other than that, there are very few things that you really have to do in this moment. And when you're living moment to moment, you're able to make these choices, and you can feel the flow. You can feel the excitement. You can feel the tingles. Mm-hmm. That's the satisfaction. And when you're doing things from this position, that's what makes you magnetic. That's what makes people go, I got to work with her. I don't know what she's on, but I got to work with her. That's how you grow your business, you build your business, and you build your profit without working harder, because I don't do anything I don't want to do, because it's not going to work anyway.
So true. So you talk a little bit about the law of attraction, and does it work for everyone, or is it selective?
Well, from our previous conversation, what do you think? Law of attraction works because law of attraction is like gravity. You jump off a building, and I can almost guarantee you that you are going to hit the ground. Now, there also are miracles that come into play. The universe is fully capable of usurping any law. So a child accidentally falls off of somewhere, and somebody below happens to be standing there and catches them. That's a miracle. That's the universe usurping the law of gravity. But in normal circumstances, the law works. Now, what is the law of attraction? The law of attraction is things that are like this attract each other. Mm-hmm. But what we're talking about here, and this is exactly the reason where I said, if you are doing a marvelous, guaranteed to work strategy in your marketing, but you don't want to do it, it will not work for you. That's law of attraction. Because your energy is not aligned to the results that you want. You're just doing something because somebody else told you it would work, and you're, here's the key, desperate to make something work. And so you're going to try whatever. You're going to throw more money at something because something's got to work. But inside, you're a mess.
Yeah.
The universe matches your energy. Now, people call it your thoughts, but it's not. It is your thoughts, but you got to parse them out a little bit. It's not your thought of, I'm going to do this and it's going to work. It's going to work. It's going to work. It's going to work because it has to work. Because under all that is, nothing I do ever works.
Yeah.
I'm in a big mess. I procrastinate all day long. I can't even make a big goal. After all, my mother told me I should sit down and shut up because I'm too big mouth. I was in 6th grade, and I tried to talk in front of class, and 14 people laughed at me, and I ran out of the room crying, and no way, and am I doing that again? I'm a mess, I'm a mess, I'm a mess. It's going to work, it's going to work, it's going to work. What is the more predominant energy?
Mm-hmm.
So yes, law of attraction works. And if you are not getting the results that you think you should be getting, you want to actually just stop a minute and breathe and look at, what am I really believing? Do I really believe it's going to work? Do I really believe? There are so many people that push money away like this because somewhere inside, I don't know, they were 5 years old and their mother and dad were arguing about money. And so deep inside, as much as you want money, deep inside, you think money's bad. Money causes problems. If you got money, you're going to be arguing with your spouse. Now, we know that's crazy. That's not true. It's not true. It is to that inside part of you that's I'm driving the bus. So it is utterly amazing to me, the pieces that they're just little threads. So that if you're not getting what you want and what you are saying you want, There's something out of alignment. And usually it's not that hard to figure it out and line it back up if you got somebody who knows what they're looking for.
And be willing to seek that person to help you.
Yeah.
That's the other thing too. Well, time is flying by. I'm going to ask you just one rapid fire question, and that is, how is intuitive wealth and abundance coaching different from all the other coaches out there?
A minute, huh? Okay.
Oh, no. I am only going to give you that one, so we can spend a few
for me,
on it.
yeah, for me, and there are a plethora of coaches, and I don't do what other coaches do. But if you are seeking to, and you've hit a limit with your wealth and your prosperity, and you realize that you just can't seem to break through that next ceiling, the people that I work with are usually folks who they're already in business, they're already making money, but they hit a plateau. It's actually your wealth set point. And you are, I can tell you exactly what your wealth set point is, so you know what it is going forward. It is exactly as much money as you're making right now. But it's the amount of money that you will allow yourself to make. And it comes from some childhood stuff we've talked about. It comes from ancestral stuff from way back when. And it comes from things like gold traumas and pieces like that. And it comes also from our society. What are women allowed to do? What are women allowed to have? Who are women allowed to be? You know, we all have that little person in us that goes, wait, I have to make everybody happy or they won't like me. And then, and we're out here trying to be leaders, trying to speak with some authority. And the little girl inside of us is going, no, people won't like you. And that's not good. That's not right. So all that craziness. And the reason that I'm intuitive is because I am connected with my own guidance. I've spent years honing it. And so it's not just me someone is coaching with, it's the universe. And so I've got a bigger picture of your life than you have for sure. And that I would have if it was just me with my schooling behind me, right? So I've got that part. And then I am wealth and abundance, because there's a difference. Wealth is your money. Wealth is how much money are you actually bringing in and putting in your pocket. My favorite people are the one, I had a 6-figure launch. But if you know behind the scenes, they actually lost money. Why bother? That's my humble opinion. But maybe it's fun for them. I don't know. Or maybe they need a coach. But abundance is over and above your wealth. Now, do you need money to be abundant? Sure. Especially today, where we live, you kind of got to have money to be abundant. But you can have all the money in the world and not be abundant. Because if you're just as worried about losing the money or spending, there are people, oh, I made money and I put it all in the bank and I won't spend it. That's a thing too. That's a block as well. So you get to a place where you can just live your life and flow. Money comes in, you do what you need to with it, money flows out, and it's always more where that came from. And you're just, you know that you are about your mission. You know that you are living the life that you came here to live. And that's what I help people discover, is what is the blind spot that you have that's keeping you from living that kind of a life.
That sounds awesome. We could probably talk like all day, just chat away. But if you all that are listening want to know more about what Roz can do for you, I'm going to share my screen as always. If you haven't taken notes, or if you're just listening, it's time to go grab that paper and pencil so that I can give you the website. As always, though, you can wait and get this on the YouTube channel or my findyourleadershipconfidence.com. So the website is https://sacredlifemastery.art. Sacredlifemastery.art. Facebook is Sacred Life Mastery with initial caps. YouTube is at Sacred Life Mastery, all lower. And the Instagram is Sacred Life Mastery, again, all lowercase. I'm going to let Rozlyn talk to you about her call to action.
Yes, I have for you a Freedom Formula assessment. And this is how you can discover in 10 minutes or less the number one reason business income stalls. And you've already heard that answer, which is goal trauma.
Yeah.
But you'll be able to determine if goal trauma is actually behind some of the behaviors that you have. Because today we just talked a minute about procrastination and things like that. But there are a plethora of other ones that you see and you go, oh my gosh, I had no idea that would be part of it. So grab the assessment and discover, and then there's another to go forward with that. You'll know what to do to help get over it.
Wow, that's awesome. Again, that's Freedom Formula Assessment. When you go to her website, it's very easy to find. And you can go again to https://sacredlifemastery.art/assessment, but it is right there on that homepage, so you can easily find it. Well, Roz, it's been just great chatting with you. I love everything you're saying. It's very relevant, very true. And if anyone in the audience is listening and feel that you are everything she just said and you need Roz's help, please do reach out to her. Or if you know someone, please let them watch this podcast and get some help, because we are not alone. She told you that in the very beginning. We are not alone. Just because we are women does not mean that we have to wear the cape 24/7. Reach out and get some help. All right. Thank you so much for being such a great guest. And as always, I remind everyone that life is a journey and it's up to you to enjoy the ride. This is Vicki Noethling signing off.
Thank you for tuning into the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast with Vicki Noethling, where we share impactful lessons that help you grow as an individual, grow your confidence, and find the positive and good within you so you powerfully and authentically become the best version of yourself. Remember to visit our website at www.findyourleadershipconfidence.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast.